Is going on, everyone? Good evening and welcome to tonight's show. This is the Xbox Roundtable Podcast, episode number 196, the place for Xbox talk on Sunday nights and a little more from around the industry. I'm your host, Invader, and it's great to have you all here with us. Thank you for joining in. We've got a lot of stuff to catch up on from the past 2 weeks. Gamescom came and went by pretty quickly, and we'll give you our thoughts, rundowns, and highlights of it all. As well, Psychonauts 2 has finally been released. Is this Double Fine's biggest hit on their hands? Well, we will definitely get into that. However, first, let me introduce everybody on the panel tonight. And joining us tonight is a pretty popular voice in the Xbox community, a member of a pretty well-known podcast. Please welcome Mr. Cybernox. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Good. Glad to be here. I'm glad today worked out. It's been a few weeks in the works that we just seen our schedules just not seem to, coincide. But yeah, I don't know about popular voice out there, but I do what I can. But glad to be here. Absolutely amazing panel. I love listening to you guys and can't wait to get into these topics and just talk some game with you guys.
Yeah. Like you said, it's funny trying to be able to match up everybody's schedule, and it's like, I can't do this. It's we were talking before the show, man. It's like the amount of times that I've messaged you, and it's like I always seem to like get you on like the busiest of days or weekends, and it's just sometimes that's just how things work out, and thankfully things matched up. And we're in line for tonight, and it's great to have you here, Knox. Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
All right, and let's see. Onto the TXR panel, and Timmy, buddy. Hey, great to have you here. How's things been at your end?
Good, having a good Memorial Day weekend. Happy to be here. We have some stuff to talk about, which is always nice. A lot of stuff coming up too, so. Happy to have that. Also, a great panel member in Cyber. I've done some shows with him on Boom's podcast, so It's going to be a nice podcast tonight. So tune in, and we got a lot to talk about.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Either Tim is from the past or he's from the future. He's already on Memorial Day, or he's still back there. It's Labor Day, Tim. Come on, baby.
I always got it. That's me. I get it mixed up, but it's the end of the summer.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah, that's right. I wasn't gonna say anything, but hey, Knox brought it up, so it's all good. But yeah, it's the end of the summer, guys, and it's a long weekend, Labor Day weekend. I mean, I'm stuck working, so I'm not getting any time off here. But to everyone else who's kicking back, whether it be with a barbecue, a beer in hand, spending time with family, whatever it may be, hope you're having a good time. Moving on down the list here, Centurion, buddy, how you been?
Oh man, what is up? It is going to be a great show this Sunday night. I am excited for it. I am apparently we have talked before again. I am sorry I don't remember, but this time I'm sure it's going to be a time to remember. Anybody been playing any good games? I've been stuck on Psychonauts 2, and I also just found out Maneater came out with some DLC.
I have been dipping into Psychonauts 2. We'll get more into that. I'll give you my thoughts later on when we get into it, because that's definitely going to be a talking point. But yeah, I've been dipping into a few other games as well. It's been kind of a busy week for me, though, Centurion.
That's the only game I've been able to really play, other than like a couple Lego games here and there with my wife.
Oh yeah. Oh, actually, which Lego game, if you don't mind me asking?
God, do I want to answer? So we've been playing the Lego Harry Potter. We are right now on the Deathly Hallows. So yes, we have actually done all the way from the Sorcerer's Stone all the way up to the final ones. And I enjoy the Lego games.
Mm-hmm.
How did you like the new look of the new Star Wars Lego game?
Which the Jedi, the one that for like this,
Yeah, the
The
one that
Luke
they
Skywalker
showed.
say, yeah, the one
Yeah,
at the
over the
show.
shoulder. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
That looked pretty
I
cool,
really
man.
do think it's a franchise that did needed a little bit of I don't want to say polish, but a little bit of new life injected into it, some fresh ideas. I mean, if you want me to be absolutely honest, I did like them when they were still almost like a silent film, and I know as time went by, they started putting more voice acting into them. And sometimes I do wish they would have kept the voice acting to a minimum, but hey, what can you do?
That's right. Let's see here, guys. Shockley's running a little bit behind, but we will get into the topics in a sec. Just a reminder, a reminder before we get into things that last week we had a really fun show and insightful interview with the game director of 12 Minutes, Luis Antonio. I highly suggest checking it out if you want to learn more about 12 Minutes and just the game industry in general. We had a fun time talking to him. Really, really cool guy. And yeah, it was just cool picking his brain for like an hour and a half, just learning things and just really down to earth. I really enjoyed it, and we got to get him on again sometime soon. I know he was interested in that, maybe for his next game. But okay, guys, let's start off by going into the first topic, talking about Gamescom. And admittedly, it wasn't like a huge announcement-filled event, but it still had some pretty cool stuff in there. Xbox seemed to have had a decent-sized showing. And you know what? I would like to know what everyone thought of it. You know what, Cybernox buddy, since you came on as the guest, I'll start off with you. Did anything catch your eye?
Sure. I thought overall the show itself, I thought it was a mediocre show, right? I think that was the overall how like overall how the community felt. I would say they knocked it out of the park at E3, so I thought that they were gonna keep that same format going forward, minimize the interviews and things like that. But a lot of things did catch my eye. Dying Light 2 caught my eye right at the beginning. I thought that was a really great way to start, but then it kind of just, plateaued a little bit with the interviews. I think they were a little bit too long. I think one key aspect of it was obviously xCloud going into,
right.
let's say the Xbox One, OG Xbox One, and Xbox One S and things like that, being able to utilize xCloud to play next gen games. I thought that was brilliant. You know what I mean? That was a really well, a very big announcement that kind of got overshadowed by everything else within the show that people didn't like. But they did show, it's good for them to see like State of Decay 2 got another great update. I love that they keep going back and updating and keep giving giving services, keep adding content to all these games that people seem to love. They mentioned there the State of Decay at one point, or at its highest peak, had 10 million players. So there's always a potential there when you introduce a new whatever DLC you're introducing, that people are gonna generally come back. I thought it was like I mentioned, I thought it was an okay show. The humble games.
The bundle, or
I think
sorry,
the
going
bundle.
into Game Pass.
Yeah, going into Game Pass. I mean, when I watched the show, I watched the shout out to Indie Gamer. I watched it, on his channel, and a lot of people were psyched for that when that humble bundle. All those games are going to come to Game Pass. So I thought that was also a very interesting news and something really good to see coming to Game Pass continually. The service, it's selling itself now. And like I said, I think they did okay. I didn't think it blew anyone's socks off, but some of the announcements on the Xbox stage to me was that I liked the most was Dying Light 2, the Humble Bundle announcement, and State of Decay 2, the DLC. So yeah, that was it for me.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, actually. That was one of the smaller announcements, but they basically, for State of Decay 2, they did it's a free update, and they did the entire map from the original version and bring it. Yeah, like that's pretty cool. I mean, I never played the game, but I mean that's that's some pretty cool stuff considering that they're working on State of Decay 3.
Yeah, I will say if you enjoy a co-op experience, right, and you play the first State of Decay and you enjoy that experience, State of Decay 2, sure, at first it was a little bit buggy. There is a catch when it comes to when you join someone's game. You would progress someone's story, you wouldn't progress your story, but you would take, resources back to your own playthrough, right? So that was a little bit of a knock that I think a lot of people, were like, hey, I spent, 4 or 5 hours helping this someone out, and then I come back, all I get is the resources. I didn't progress my game at all. But from you still have a great experience on State of Decay. I think the game has continuously gotten better and better and better. And if you like that survivor, aspect and a little bit of horror into there too, that State of Decay, man, I highly recommend it. And fun story, side note, really quick, when I played State of Decay, my first time around, I didn't know there was permadeath, right? So I'm upgrading my character the whole time, and I'm just having fun. Never died once, and then I faced the Juggernaut. So I'm over here, and I'm like, oh, fine. He takes me and he rips me in half, and then my game restarts, and I'm just like, where's my character? Where's my character that I've been leveling up this whole time? So there was like a real consequence to that world, which I really appreciated, So you actually have to be a bit strategic as well when you go out into the world and you're looking for resources and you're, trying to build your community and things like that. So yeah, State of Decay, amazing game. I highly recommend. If anybody likes co-op, please give it a try. It's a really fun experience. And I forgot to really quick too, XCloud, obviously that announcement blew my, to me, it was an amazing announcement, very important, especially with, all of these consoles, all these chip shortages and people not being able to get their hands on next gen hardware. Now they have a solution for you, right? Which means you can literally be using any hardware you have right now, and through xCloud, they'll be able to, experience next gen games. So that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you make a good point there, talking about the Xbox Cloud gaming, because you talk about the chip shortages, but even for people who still have Xbox One. It's like for people who aren't able to play next gen games or experiences, it gives them a chance to be able to play it without going for the console. So I mean that's kind of nice. But yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. Again, I really enjoy what Xbox has been able to build up, and yeah, it looks like this is coming, I think, at the end of the year. So I guess closer towards Christmas time from the sounds of things. Yeah, that was a pretty big announcement. You interested in Forza Horizon 5 at all?
Oh, of course. They showed Forza too, but that's the one thing that I will say about the show, right? Forza Horizon 5, absolutely amazing, like a show stunner, right? But we knew that already. We saw that at E3. We knew it was coming. We did see. I was kind of heartbroken. The one thing that when you get into the festival, right? The introduction to the festival, when how you get to the festival, it's like a surprise. You kind of, what are they going to do now? And they kind of like snuck that in there. They showed it. They showed the intro, and I was just like, no, why you taking my surprise away from me? But it looked amazing, man. And if you think about how talented that team is, still working on, I believe, the last last gen engine, and the game looking like that and running the way it runs, and it just seems that they've consistently been upgrading how multiplayer is going to work, how seamlessly everything it just seems to be. It's, man, big, a round of applause to to the studio, to
well, they also had 3 years of development too. So
sure, yeah. So it gives you a sense of what time does when you give these developers time, right, Tim? So it's just like, man, I can't praise them enough. it looks absolutely stunning. And to know that they're also working on Fable is just like, wow, what can we expect from that? Forza looks amazing though. I think that's a game that's gonna, surprise a lot of people if it hasn't already.
Mm-hmm.
Did you all see that where I saw someone post that they were trying to equate the deluxe edition of Forza Horizon 5 to like, hey, it's a $70 or $80 game. I'm like, but that's the deluxe version. Oh my god! And if you want to go there, just like a GT, it's even worse. They price you. I mean, that's what you're gonna get with these games because we all know those car licenses come at a premium.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm up in Canada. We already pay close to $100 per game anyway. Yeah. So yeah, we get kind of stiff there because of the dollar difference. But yeah, with all the licensing and stuff, it is kind of tough. I know a lot of people were talking about Forza Motorsport 7 going out of Game Pass. I mean, it sucks. I mean, I wish there were more workarounds for that, but it is what it is.
Hasn't there been a known though that I think it's how many years is it? Every 5 years? That there's a Forza game that the license is just run out. I think it's 5 years. I'm not sure. So,
yeah, but it's pretty much any of these car games. GT6 did the same thing. GT Sport's gonna probably do it once the GT7 drops next year. You're gonna see the same thing happen because those the car license, there are people that license out the vehicles. They kind of call the shots because if you want their vehicles, like Microsoft doesn't call the shots. They're not going to bully them to do anything because they can just like say no. And there's a million other, iRacing, Assetto Corsa. Like there's so many other project cars. They don't they don't need to say yes to you, so they call the shots. So that's how that works, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Did you guys see the limited edition Forza Horizon 5 controller that got announced?
Yes.
What do you think about that, Knox? Does it look good?
Me personally, I thought when I saw it, I said it looks more like a Dirt 5 controller than it does a Forza.
I guess
that was like my first reaction to the controller. I thought it looked okay. I didn't think it looked too bad. Like I said, it just didn't scream out Forza Horizon to me. Like the colors and everything just seemed to match up with their 5. But I did like the translucent on the controller, the transparency on it so you can see the inner workings of the, components in there. But I did understand it. It's a festival, so they're mixing all these colors and they have, like the smoke going into the controller. So I personally wouldn't get a controller like that, but I do think it looks good for someone who enjoys that game in the way it looks, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's funny you bring up Dirt because I was gonna say like Rage 2 kind of a look to it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I can see that on Rage 2.
So yeah, exactly with like the different like the colors splashed on the controller. Like I think it looks okay. I'm actually happy that they came out with a controller for it, limited edition, and it looks fine. Is it to my tastes necessarily? Maybe not so much, but I could see why people could like it. It's fun, I could go either way with it personally. So, but yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Let's see. Yeah, those Knox, you brought up the Humble Bundle indie games. That was actually pretty cool. A whole bunch of those getting put into Game Pass day one. Some cool titles there. What else? I don't know if anybody saw, but the little indie exclusive game that Xbox has, The Gunk, it had a gameplay trailer and a release date, actually. For at least an approximate release date for December of this year. So the end of this year is going to be pretty tight with games, actually, from the looks of it. I think it looks pretty cool. I don't know what you guys think of it, but it kind of caught my eye with its gameplay and just the color palette of it. Personally, I like those kinds of games, so I could definitely get on that. Anything else stand out to you guys during the Xbox Gamescom showcase?
Well, for me, I mean, listen, I didn't come into it expecting much because they had E3 and it was 2 months after E3. With that being said, I thought it was noteworthy that with Halo, I think they did a good job on the custom console and obviously the Elite Halo controller. I thought that stuff was good. And there was a lot of people who were like, oh, they're never going to show the campaign. I just feel like they with the whole thing, they're obviously in a position where they have to show it at its absolute best. And the only way they could probably show it at their absolute best is when you're almost done with it or closer to to the release date. So I kind of knew that when they showed the multiplayer and they showed that trailer, that's where they were going with that thought process. And I personally don't have a problem with that because I do think that they have to show it at its best possible look. And to be honest, 2 to 3 months make a huge difference. So if they could wait 2 months or 3 months and then they show the gameplay a month out or whatever, I think that's better than showing it in a lesser way or in a less. They're basically showing it with its best possible way that it could look, and I don't have a problem with that. A lot of people did have a problem with that. Other than that, I thought the show was pretty good. I'm glad they went to it, and
it's interesting that no one's asking about where's Elden Ring's gameplay when it comes out in January.
Yeah, you're right.
Sure, yeah.
Well, listen,
I'm sure there was like a snippet of like 2 seconds of gameplay in the trailer, but there's been no, and we've never seen it.
We'll see more of the Game Awards.
Where is it out? It's supposed to drop in what? Less than a year? God of War? We haven't even seen a glimpse.
Well, I just think that the Xbox brass though is very.
Is it mismanagement? I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, the Xbox brass is very gun shy with it, and rightfully so. They didn't have a great showing with Halo, and as people say, it's their biggest title, it's their biggest game, it's their marquee game, and they have to show it in its best light. And to show a trailer, to be honest, takes, from what I've been told, about like a whole dev team, like 2 weeks. It's not something that you could just wing. You have to actually stop making the game, get the people all on board, and get the game for a trailer or gameplay, and it takes time off the developmental cycle. So I have no problem. And Joseph Staten said as much too. He basically said what I just was outlining, that they're going to show it. They're just in the process of clearing bugs and playing the game numerous times over and over to encounter as many situations as they can, to see as many situations where there's issues and stuff like that. I do feel like you're going to get a good game. People are going to say you're getting an incomplete game. You're not getting co-op. You're not getting Forge. I do feel, though, while those are big omissions, they will come. And I do feel like what product you get from Halo is going to be very good and polished. I don't think this is going to be like a Halo MCC case or that type of stuff. I think you're going to get a good game.
Yeah, just to chime in, and I agree with what Shockley was saying and what you were saying, Tim. Just to add on, though, because again, you had mentioned like the delays to Forge. Obviously, co-op's a pretty big, admission there, and there's a few other things as well. I guess what I would add on to that is, while I am confident, I am hopeful about the game, and I think once we see gameplay and once they're prepared, I think we will be blown away. Since we've had a few, since 343's already come out and said, oh, this isn't going to be in the game, that's not going to be in the game, I think a lot of fans are wondering, okay, is there anything else that's not going to be in the game at launch or that we're going to have to wait a year for? And it's because it would be nice for them to say, okay, this is going to be in there, just list off all the modes and whatnot that are going to be in there. Because, again, people wondering, is Firefight going to be in there? Is this going to be in there? So I can understand why, certain aspects of the fan base are, just kind of wondering what's going on, right? A couple of months before release. Now, again, I do agree with Shockley. It's not like we've seen Elden Ring gameplay, a lot of that, but yeah, it would be nice to see some more stuff from Halo. I'm kind of hoping that we see some within like the next month. That would be kind of nice, just to counter the new PlayStation showcase that's coming next week. So that'd be kind of nice. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see. I mean, I am confident with Joe Stain at the helm that we will see something polished. And 343 is under a lot of pressure too, guys. That's another thing. They still get, there's a lot of flack because, again, that very first demo wasn't as polished as what a lot of people thought, and I can understand why that they would be clamped down. I totally understand that part, but just again, there's I can understand why some people are curious, and they have a right to ask questions about the game, no doubt. I have my own questions, but either way, I think we're going to be getting a new flight soon from the sounds of it. I know that they've been teasing things. I didn't get into the first flight. I don't think anybody on this panel did. Nox, did you get in on the first Halo Infinite beta by chance? Or flight?
Yeah, I did. I was fortunate enough to get in there, and I tell you what, it felt like a breath of fresh air playing Halo again. Especially, I'll tell you, it was amazing. Shout out to Cotton. He was in there on the flight as well. We played a couple games. I played with Boom. Kay Asante got in there as well. So it was just great, man. Like playing Halo again, and it felt right. It felt good. It wasn't this what we're used to, let's say with Warzone, this pretty much fun, fast-paced Twitch shooter, which I love, by the way. It just felt refreshing, right? It felt like Halo again. Like, oh, here's a really good Halo multiplayer. In the Halo, there were a couple bugs here and there, but that was expected. This is a flight. They were just testing out bots, and for them to go, it was funny because we were talking about like, oh, it would have been nice if they let us play like an hour or so, like a PvP, And then as we were talking about it, I think Ainsley from a Seasoned Gamer was on with us, and he was just like, back out because they just opened up PvP. We were like, what? But it was great. It felt really well. Like the weapons balancing felt good. It felt like they had weight to them. I didn't mind. It took me a little bit to get used to the outline, but after I got used to it, I did not mind it. The outline on the enemies, because now with all the customizations and things like that, it's obviously people want to do their own thing, so they had to figure out a different way for you to identify the enemy. I thought that was a pretty unique and smart way to do it. So movement felt incredible. I just had to get used to not running so much. I'm so used to like just Halo's a complete, if you think about a very strategic map control, not run and gun, it's you have to hit your shots kind of game. Halo's it to me. Knowing the map and communication with your team is key. It's absolutely key. One person can't change the course of a match. You know what I mean? It was great. It felt like I mentioned a couple of times now, it's a breath of fresh air. It felt amazing. All this Halo talk with the campaign, even though it hurts my heart dearly as well, or what's going on. If they give us an outstanding and quality campaign right off the bat, we won't forget about this in the weeks to come. So we'll see.
Yeah, again, I just think everybody's just curious, again, what modes will be available for multiplayer and whatnot. So I think that's a fair question, but they should have that answered fairly soon, I think. I'm just curious, like, again, how many maps we're going to get, how many are going to be arena, how many are going to be big team battle. Firefight's a big one for me.
Right.
So, again, we'll see. we'll see about all that.
Listen, Halo is like dear to my heart. I can talk Halo all day. So it's just like my nephew now, he's getting into Halo, right? And he wants me to play the campaigns with him. He just asks me all the time, "Oh, can you help me out on this level? Can you help me out on this?" And he's excited for Infinite, but I don't think he knows that there's no co-op there yet. So I kind of gotta, either tell him right now or kind of stall him on some of these campaigns for a couple of months, so we can experience that together. So yeah, it's not that it's unfortunate. It's in my eyes, it's a little bit unfortunate to see what's going on with Halo. That franchise, it's such a big franchise that means so much to so many different people. It means a tremendous amount, I believe, to Microsoft, and for them to see, let's call them a few missteps along the way and affect the way this game is launching. It kind of hurts a little bit, but I'm sure, like I said, if they deliver quality at the end of the day, that's what most people want.
Yeah, people are going to completely forget about that if the game is like, oh, the single player is amazing and the multiplayer is amazing.
Right.
What is there to complain about? Like, either they delay the game and you get the co-op 9 months or 3 months later anyway, or they don't delay the game and you still get co-op 3 months later. It's like,
right.
And come on, if you're really a Halo fan, you can play through campaign once. Come on. Like, otherwise, I don't think you actually care about spoilers or the lore. So that's just kind of like a made-up complaint to me. It's like, if you really cared, then you would be able to play through the campaign by yourself at least one time. And this is more of an open game. So if you think about it, you're going to want to explore more in certain areas. Whereas if you're playing co-op, you might not want to both go the same way. Like, because it's a pretty big open, from what we've seen. It looks like a pretty open world. So.
Yeah,
I suppose so. Now, what do you guys think about the? I think Tim had brought this up. What do you guys think about the like the collector's edition or limited edition controller and console for Halo? Do you guys think it looks sharp, or is it a pass?
I love it.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely, man. I tried to get it day one. Me too.
It's not on the Gears 5 level, Xbox One X, but it's pretty good. But I'm not going to, unlike with that one, I totally sold my One X and got that Gears because it looks sick.
I think you might be right, man. That Gears 5, you talking about the white one, right? With the,
I kept that one. Just as
the etched
place, like, to put it on your mantle even after I don't use it. I'm still keeping it from now on.
I wasn't a fan of the Gears one, until I saw it in person. When I saw it in person, I saw what they did.
It looks like actual ice.
Absolutely blown away. Oh my God. It was so good. So good.
But I wish I could have got that Halo one, the Elite 2 controller, the Master Chief one. That actually, I'm sorry. I think it's a good, clean looking controller. But yeah, with everything going on in my world, there's no way I could have won the argument of wanting to buy another Series X right now.
You could always get that Cortana controller.
I tried to get it. I couldn't get it. And I'm still, I really like the fact that it's an Xbox Series X is awesome. And it's early. I didn't think that they would do this, but I also like, how it has that green on the normal one. It has the green halo on the top of it, or whatever you want to call that thing. It has a blue one. It looks like, instead of green, which I thought was really nice. And I just like the way the console looks. I don't think that the Series X is kind of conducive to, I guess you could do custom consoles. The other ones are kind of easier to do, or could look sleeker. But for what it is, I have to say that it was it really, I would have bought it if I could have gotten it.
Oh, if I had the extra scratch laying around in my pocket, the thing would already be pre-ordered. Like,
you can't even pre-order it.
You can't. I tried to pre-order the day.
Guys, I tried.
It was crazy.
I tried for the 2 days after it. It was like,
Yeah.
You know, one thing I see a lot of people not mentioning. Everybody mentions the console and the Elite too, but I really like the controller on the that comes with the Infinite console as well. I think it looks really good. It looks really sleek. I thought it was really well
Now,
done.
here's to add on to that, and this goes with what Noof Nukem is saying in the chat. Hey, Noof, thanks for dropping by, buddy. So the Elite controller, is the one that is the limited edition one, and I think it's pretty cool. I think it looks nice, but I have to be with Noof on this one. It's like $250 Canadian. I don't know if I could drop that much cash.
Yeah.
I already have an Elite. I kind of wish, or I really wish, I should say, that they just had like a regular controller, like an $80 controller, limited edition one, like they've done with previous Halos, like Halo 5, Halo 4, and so on.
I would think they would sell it by itself. They did with that with the Gears 5 controller that came with it. They sold that by itself. So maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. It's just they haven't really said anything about that, and I would totally pick one up. It's a thing for me. I like collecting the controllers. I mean, so
I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer here, but with what I know in my industry, they were probably only able to manufacture enough controllers to consoles, which is why.
Thanks, Debbie.
I'm just saying they're probably maybe they're trying to manufacture more before they announce it to see what levels they can get it to. But right now, guaranteed they're focused more on making sure that every Halo edition console that gets printed out also has the correct controller to go with it.
Well, do you guys think we'll have another batch of Halo Infinite bundle or consoles that we'll be able to pre-order? Have they said anything or no?
I'm sure some will have to be ready limited for the anniversary to like go up, or in stores at least.
Oh yeah,
I think it's going to be very hard to get. They made it limited, and I do think that it's not going to be the easiest to get. I don't think you're going to be able to go into a store. The shortages are going to be continued for the chip shortages. And that, obviously affects everything, Series X and custom consoles. That's going to be till, like, I would say 2022, mid-2022. So at this point, it's going to be, I think that they put out only a select few. And the novelty is to get it. And, a lot of people will make money selling it, too, aftermarket. You could get it, but it's probably like $800.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the YouTubers that I've been listening to that didn't want to go through the whole chaos of the day one purchase were buying them resale for like $750, $800.
Oh, wow. That's extortionate. Oh man, that's rough. Centurion, I know you're a little quiet on like the different game announcements for Gamescom. Did anything really stick out to you?
Oh yeah, I just wanted everybody to get theirs in. The one that stood out for me was Stray Blade. I want to know more about this game. I got like a file on my computer on when I'm ready to start doing a video on this. I'm gonna start digging up as much info as I can find. That was the one game to me that kind of caught my interest. When at first I saw it, kind of had those reminiscent vibes of when you first saw Biomutant, you were kind of like, what is this? Kind of like that with Stray Blade. You just see this weird little creature that appears out of nowhere and starts pretty much talking to the other character. And now I just got to know more. It looks very, very heavy combat based. I don't want to throw the word Souls on it or anything like that, but it definitely was a third person perspective slasher. We'll just at least say that. I don't know much about the mechanics. But other than that one thing that leapt out at me, I'm like TimDog. I did not walk into Gamescom expecting them to just all of a sudden, have, fireworks and all this great, amazing stuff going off. I really liked how Paris and, forgive me, I'm bad with names. The one lady that was also there, they did a really good job compared to the previous show on Twitter. I felt like at least the two hosts of the show felt like they brought a lot of energy and that they had a lot of knowledge to the products they were talking about too. And I mean, we all got really something from it. And I mean, everybody, like, I remember the Top Gun thing for, oh my God, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Forgive me. That's actually, I have not played Flight Simulator yet, but I feel as soon as the Top Gun DLC comes out, I'm probably going to do it at that point. State of Decay 2. Really looking forward to downloading this game again, playing it again. I was a big fan of State of Decay 1. I'd played State of Decay 2 very heavily when it first came out, and to see that they have added a large amount of DLC to this game and pretty much made an entirely different game compared to what I first played when it first came out, I'm looking forward to playing it again. Let me see. The show is kicked off with Dying Light 2. Really awesome gameplay trailer. Really enjoyed seeing that game. Is going to probably hopefully get, dude, it does suck though that it's launching the same week as Halo, the day before Halo.
Yeah,
I want to say that game hopefully gets some good recognition. Now, is it bad? Like, excuse me, by the way, for doing that. Is it bad though? Is it launching the day before? These are two totally different style of games. Unless you're a hardcore, if you're already into hardcore multiplayer, like just wanting to play multiplayer, I don't really see State of Decay 2 being up your alley very heavily. I'm saying, and now if the campaign for Halo is what interests you, that's where obviously you're going to have that big debate, but that's where I really do think with Halo, there is going to be some people that are going to grind out the campaign extremely fast because they just want to know how long it is. So that way everybody can get on Twitter and complain. But I'm just being blunt. But I really feel with State of Decay 2, there's going to be a lot of people that are just going to grind out Halo just to do it. And they're all going to go back to State of Decay 2. And that's where I really feel I'm hoping that it's going to get some recognition in the fact that we're talking about a game that will be sculpted based on your decisions. From the gameplay trailers, we saw how the environments change based on your decisions and how the clans and other gangs in the neighborhoods evolve based on your decisions. It looks like a really great game. And I'm looking forward to State of Decay 2 when it comes out. I mean, not State of Decay 2, Dying Light 2. Oh, my God. I keep doing that. There was a lot of stuff, though, that came out of that show. And there's also a lot of great games of names that I'm going to just totally get wrong. So I'll just pass the mic. I told you I'm bad with names. I do it all the time.
I will say that one little game did catch my eye that was in the Xbox like indie reel with the Humble bundle, I think it was, the Humble games, and that was Into the Pit. It's this like fast-paced retro first-person shooter, and I think you're like some kind of a mystic or a wizard or something, and it's like I have to use like
I thought Doom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I thought that was that really caught my attention. I want to learn more about that. And I think it comes out sometime in October, so not too far away.
Now, what's the other one? Oh my gosh. Looked like Asian style game, sword play, very clean looking. It was the second game. Oh my God. Dude wears a mask. That was another one that stood out to me. And the funny part is somebody was talking about it earlier today, and I can't even think of the name right now. Whatever.
You're definitely talking about Forza, right?
Definitely. The swords, the masks, the assassin-like gameplay. Yes, definitely Forza.
Totally. Let me just go through the list here. State of Decay, Psychonauts.
Was it part of the Humble Games, or was it its own thing?
But I think it's not exactly the world's. I think it's. Oh my gosh! Now I've just interrupted the show.
I can't remember, to be honest with you. Now it's really bugging me. If somebody knows in the chat, please let us know. Either way, I mean, there were some really cool announcements across the board. And again, they didn't show a lot, but they had a lot of good stuff in there, I thought. And I don't know, I just overall, like, again, you know, that because of the current global situation, like, it's kind of hard to do these shows, and I'm pretty understanding, but I thought they did a decent job. You're not talking about Stray Blade, are you?
Nope, I already mentioned Stray Blade.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, whatever. I guess like another thing I want to talk about. This wasn't a part of the Xbox showcase, but did you guys see the Saints Row reboot trailer? Because that got a lot of flack.
I did not see that trailer. No.
What about Doke V?
Hmm?
Am I the only one that noticed Doke V?
There's a lot of people enjoy there. A lot of comparisons to Pokemon, right?
Dude, for some reason, I've had people say it's like Grand Theft Auto for kids. I don't know how the heck they got that comparison, but beyond me on that. The game looks crazy though, because I mean, all the colors and just crazy stuff going on screen. It is just totally hard to not notice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I mean, with regards to Saints Row, I mean, we'll see, guys. That's supposed to be coming out early next year. I know, like, I was a fan of the Saints Row game. In fact, I'm playing the 4th one right now. I'm at the end, and I don't know, like, it's a little crazy. I understand why they need to do a reboot, but I mean, at the same time, I wasn't a huge fan of this new trailer. I have to see more of it. I'm just kind of like, it's a wait and see kind of a thing, but...
Mm-hmm. I do know it was all CGI, right? The trailer, or no?
Yeah, that's correct. They did that. They did come out, I think, a couple of days later with some gameplay, if I'm not mistaken. They showcased like the new city and the characters. I think a lot of people aren't really feeling the new characters from what I'm to understand. Granted, I mean, you can make I'm pretty sure you can make your own boss and do the customization. You can get pretty carried away there. But I think it was just how the developer was going about talking about it, Volition. But again, I need to see more before I start like really hammering things. You got to be fair to the developers on this one. But again, wait and see. But yeah, guys, I mean, I don't know, this is an alright Gamescom show. There's some more shows down the line, down the tubes. I know Xbox was talking about Tokyo Game Show, which is at the end of the month, so that's pretty cool. They were talking about having some exclusive things there. As well, Sony is having a show, like their showcase next week, so we will wait and see on that one. I think a lot of people are pretty, excited to see some stuff coming out of their end, because they've been, fairly quiet. I mean, we'll get into one of their games later on in the show. There's a little bit of controversy there. But yeah, there's some good stuff to look forward to. And you know what? I think on, that note, ending off of Gamescom, we'll move on to a recently released game. And that is Psychonauts 2. It got released. It's been getting... quite a bit of critical praise, and it seems to be Double Fine's, I'm going to call it the best game that they've done to date, and I like a bunch of their games. I was a big fan of Iron Brigade. They've done some really cool experimental stuff. Brutal Legend, I really love to this date. I hope they do another one. But yeah, I know a few guys on the panel have been able to play it. I'd like to get everybody's take on Psychonauts 2. And you know what? I'll start off with you, Centurion. I know you've been playing a bit of it. What's your thoughts on this title?
Well, to be absolutely honest, when Psychonauts 2 was first, let's just go back to E3 when, oh my God, what's his name again? The guy over at Double Fine.
Tim Schafer.
Tim Schafer. There we go. See, forgetting names is my thing. I'm sorry. Tim Schafer, when he first came out on stage and was introduced that Microsoft had bought them, I pretty much did not know who he was. And fast forward to just before the game released, it was really not on my radar. And all of a sudden, content start dropping about this game. Invader was talking about it. Other people were talking about it. So I really wanted to check this game out. And as I started discovering how the game was crafted, to basically have a focus for individuals that have, I hate saying the word mental health, but the game definitely has a heavy emphasis on mental health. You have enemies known as sensors, you have doubts, you have just a wide variety of basically mental roadblocks that you could have on any given day in the real world. And it's really interesting to see how Tim Schafer actually was able to give an almost imaginative persona to some of these concepts, like for the idea of doubts, because it's something that weighs you down. You have this insect creature that's trying to drop heavy weights on you. I just liked how imaginative Tim Schafer was with Psychonauts. This game has totally changed my perspective on smaller developers. I mean, this game is very beautiful to stare at. It's very imaginative. I'm in the casino level right now. To understand the casino level, you just have to play the game. But I thought it was really funny, especially in a certain part on how the tables are pill bottles. And you just see other reminiscent stuff of mixed in with the casino that just made you laugh at the situation. I'm enjoying the game. The game is really funny, very well thought out. You have plenty of collectibles. The collectibles I thought the funniest were the emotional baggage, and you have to go find them and and the tags that go on them, and you got to get them together. It's been an overall very positive experience for me, and this is, I feel, one of the shining examples of what Xbox is all about. And honestly, I really get to see I've referred to him almost as like the Santa Claus of gaming, just because of just how creative and almost friendly Tim Schafer can be. So I can't wait until I actually get all the way through this game.
All right. Yeah, no, I mean, immediately...
Does it sound crazy enough for everybody?
No, immediately when I started playing it, Centurion, I don't want to say I fell in love with it, but it's just like, I immediately felt engrossed. And I just feel like that's, again, Tim Schafer's writing really coming into play. I want to say I'm about 3 or 4 hours into it, and it just, I don't know, everything just feels very well paced and well written.
You know what? How about when you first look at the game, the character design totally threw me off. I'm just like, wow, this is a very interesting way of like, but now as we see, it's trying to obviously have the emphasis on diversity. But then also you just see how, I'm going to be upfront and honest, Tim Schafer is even bold enough to have a character smoking a cigarette in this game. I mean, like, I'm just putting that out there. These are just some of the small things I remember and pick up on from back in the day when, oh my God, somebody had a cigar in their hands. Now, like, that's what I mean. Tim Schafer really knows how to make a very well-crafted game, but also doesn't sweat like small petty things like that.
Yeah, don't tell the coalition that. No, I mean, it's cool. Like, I like the color palette. I like that this goes back to the first one, but I like that it plays with things, like, again, certain things about like mental health and, the different psychological effects and just the human brain as a whole. And it plays with it very well. It's not like really in your face, but again, you look at the different enemy types, you got these enemies with like weights dragging them down and sensors. Yeah. Like, it's very creative and it's very lighthearted. And I think it's something that everybody can understand. It's not like really thrown in your face. It's just, it does it in a very playful and fun way that everybody can relate to. So... I know, Tim, you were talking about playing it on your TV, and you were talking about, like, I think I saw the tweet where you were saying that, it's just very colorful and, like, everything is popping out, if I'm not mistaken.
Tim's silent because he's too busy, like, having his eyes melted out from his OLED television staring at Psychonauts.
Totally. But, yeah, no, you know what? Like, it's like even without Tim's commentary, like I really, again, I really like colorful games. I'm really finding this game just beautiful to look at. Not everything needs to be realistic. I mean, I can appreciate different art forms, but this game just really drew me in. I'm about, like, story-wise, I'm about what, like maybe 2.5 hours into it. I just started the casino area, with like
okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like Knox, have
See,
you
I haven't. You're probably at the same spot I'm at then.
Yeah, I just like I was so engrossed in it, but then I had to put it down. I just haven't had a chance to pick it up since because I've been working this weekend. Knox, have you been able to play it recently or since it came out?
Oh yes, yes. I've had a little bit of time to play Psychonauts 2. I think what you said, hits the nail right on the head. It's so there was something about it. As soon as I started playing it, I kind of feel the quality there, right? You saw the writing. I just finished the casino, so I'm right after that.
Okay.
And there's some. Obviously, I don't want to say it because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. So there's a couple things that happen after that. So I'm maybe after the casino, maybe an hour and a half after the casino. I really like the game. Yeah. The more I play of this, the more I play this game, the more I enjoy it. I think it was such a clever thing. I didn't play the first one, so this is me going in, with fresh eyes. So I thought it was amazing. I think the writing was really witty. It's very funny. Some of the characters, the way they interact with each other. It's just great. It's and kind of like you guys were mentioning, when you're inside someone's mind, and then you have these enemies that they're called like kind of like they have the weight, and they have like the enemies where you're like, oh, you're not supposed to be here, but I forgot what they're called. I didn't catch their names.
Well, there's the sensors.
That's the sensor.
Yeah.
Oh, the sensor. Yeah. So, and like the boss fights I thought were pretty good. Yeah, I'm just surprised I'm enjoying this game as much as I am, but I do love platformers. Ori was like one of my favorite games that I played, so I was very surprised at how much platforming this game actually has, and how much exploration and how big the game is. You guys will see this game is gonna open up. I'm telling you right now, and you're gonna be like, wow, like I still have all this stuff. It's pretty wild. I will say, like right at the beginning of the game, so this is not really a spoiler thing, but it just wowed me at how seamless everything was working. It was amazing. Like you were chasing this individual in the beginning. Everything is 3D, and with like a second, it changes to 2D, and you have to like do platforming on the 2D. I was just like, oh man, this is great, So like the characters are really like, you start to care about these characters. Vibrant characters, exactly. Story is very easy to follow, even if you haven't played the first one. They do a lot of cool little reference towards the first one that they kind of give you a little bit of context, so you're not completely lost. But the barriers when you're inside someone's mind, kind of like how many layers there are there, right? So like you're breaking through one layer to get to another one, and yeah, man, I'm just this game really surprised me. Absolutely, I have played a couple of Double Fine games, and I think I agree with you, Invader. This is probably their best game that they've made so far, and you kind of got to give a nod to Microsoft in that regards, right? This was supposed to be
much smaller.
A much smaller game. Tim Schafer is on record saying that he was going to have to cut a lot of things out, right? And then
no boss battles.
You start to think like, oh man, this game would, missing some of these things, and then you can see that, with the resources that Microsoft is actually able to provide them, how polished this game is, and how great it, how much praise it's getting through the community. It's really amazing to see.
Well, I have to say that I was very impressed with some of the things that you mentioned, the way they switch off. The game is very clever. The way I feel like it's cleverly put, just the way the whether it's the platforming or the intertwining of words and stuff like that, I think is really cleverly done. But listen, for it to get the Metacritic score that it got, I was blown away. I thought it would be, like an 82 to an 83. but this game has been like, and people like joke around, but this game, you hear a lot of people say it's been their game of the year. And
I think it's their highest rated.
Yeah, it's
Double Fine game.
Yeah, it is. Well, I think that the first one was 88, or they're the same. I'm pretty sure that they're the same. I think Open Critic, which combines the PC and the Xbox, is an 89. But it just goes to show you that people were like made fun of the Double Fine acquisition at the time, I remember. And I mean, this is a real quality studio, and their next game is going to be like, you're really going to be like, wow. I mean, so I feel that it's great for Xbox, great for the community, for the gamers that for Xbox. We got, blessed with a game that, listen, I don't think anybody expected the game to be as big as it was, to be as close to AAA as it was. Like I thought it would be a small game, and be pretty cool. But like playing it, and I'm about where you are, Cyber. I'm just like, wow, like it's vibrant, it's beautiful, it's funny, it's cleverly put, like everything is just well done. And I'm still playing it because I'm a victim of the games. Just overall, I'm playing 12 minutes still.
I love that game.
Yeah, like Xbox is just killing it right now. But yeah, I'm just taken back that it's been such a big hit, and how big the game is, and just overall how kind of like it just kind of snuck up on everyone. And I'm just happy for Double Fine and Xbox, Microsoft. They got a hit on their hands, and I'm sure there'll be a Psychonauts 3 the way this one went, and sure it went well as far as sales and everything, because I heard it's doing good. I just, like I said, I just at this point, I don't remember a time where Xbox is like doing as well as it is with what's coming up, and I think everyone thought that Psychonauts would have been good, but I just didn't think that anybody really, myself included, think it would be this good. And that's a really good thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think there's a real want and need for these types of games, these platformers. There's been a bit of a resurgence in the platforming scene in the past couple of years, and to have a game like Psychonauts is really something. And again, I want to see more of these types of games in the genre on the Xbox platform. Everybody talks about wanting again, all of Rare's old IP, their old platformers, come back. And while Psychonauts is a little different at the same time, it's like, it's just, it's really nice. It's really nice to have these games that, they have a lot of character to them, and it's really cool. I mean, again, I really some people don't like platformers. I happen to be a big proponent of them. I'm a big fan, and I want to see more of these. Again, Tim talks about Psychonauts 3. I mean, at this point, again, I haven't beat it or anything, but I could totally see, because of all the feedback I've been seeing. Yeah, it seems like it's quite a success. And I'm really happy for Double Fine. I mean, Double Fine wasn't exactly doing too great at one point in time. And now, with Microsoft's backing, it's amazing what they were able to put in. Again, somebody was Shockley was talking about how they were able to put in boss battles, and I think other types of enemies as well. And if I'm not mistaken, too, I think Jack Black makes a cameo in the game as well. I know him and Tim Schafer have a pretty good relationship there, and it just opens up me wondering what Double Fine is going to do next. I don't think they're going to be a huge studio that's going to be in comparison to the likes of 343, Rare, or even Obsidian. But I think they'll grow to a certain size, and they'll continue to make these games with a lot of character to them. So
yeah, and they don't even need to be that, because you can look at it like games like Nintendo has some of their platformers. Yeah, they're not on the scale of like God of War, but they'll sell like 10 million. If you have some of those rare IPs, so if they want to kind of make some platformers or go back to a platformer, kind of reimagine it, one we haven't seen in a while, they definitely have a lot of those rare IP they can definitely take a whack at. So
yeah, actually, yeah, Shockley, what because I've talked about this with some people too, because you look at like some of their old IP, such as like Banjo or Conquer. I mean, if they were to take a stab at one of them, which one would you like to see them do?
Yeah, I would say Banjo is definitely up their alley, because I'm not sure how I'd want. Jet Force Gemini wasn't that much of a platform, but definitely had some in there. But Conquer's probably up their alley too, just kind of with their humor, with their darker, more adult humor. That probably does make more sense. Probably out of everything, it probably makes the most.
Well, I don't know how Phil and the Microsoft feel about Conquer at this point, but if any studio were to do it, a new Conquer, I would say Double Fine would easily be my pick for a new Conquer, even a Banjo at this point. But I don't know. I think they're going to be a new IP studio at this point.
Yeah. I don't think Conquer's ever going to get made on Xbox, to be honest. I know that might be something that
which is crazy.
Don't want to hear,
because they just gave the game away, the Xbox version. It's like still relevant to them in some way, but it was in rare replay, so it's like they kind of are wanting to give it away, or at least give you access to it.
Yeah,
it's just so weird to me. All you have to do is just, if you make a new one of those, like you have are kind of like your big Nintendo IP. You have Nintendo's IP basically.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that I just think I know Phil's not a big fan of Conquer, so I just to be honest, I don't think that he liked the idea of having like this dirty guy that with curses that appeals to kids. And in my opinion, in the job that he has, you have to kind of, you have to take things like that, and you have to realize that, it's not as to me. I just don't feel like it's as dire straits as that. Like, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's actually kind of. I look at it the other way. I think that it's kind of a good idea or a funny idea. But that's the reason why I don't feel like it's going to be made. I think that it's a little controversial. But I could be wrong. That's just my take. I think it's a smart IP to look to look into. But I do think Double Fine's going to work on something new, a new IP, and so much for, like, people say, Xbox studios is when the good studios go there to die, like Nintendo or Rare and stuff like that. That's obviously not showing. I think that Phil's approach and Xbox's approach to these developers is basically hands off and give them what they want, give them a lot of money. And it just goes to show you, if you have the pedigree and the talent, and you give them that type of access, they're going to deliver. Now, not every developer is built the same way as Double Fine. Double Fine, I think, surprised a lot of people. A very smart Xbox get. They were probably came at a good price too. But it was a really smart acquisition. And like I said, they could do a game like Conquer. I just don't see it. But, I think that they would be the perfect studio for that. But I do feel like Tim wants to have his own say in his type of game. And it'll probably be absolutely crazy and unique and funny and clever. So with that being said, I don't really. I like the idea of Tim having a new IP.
Yeah, I'm with Tim on this one. I think Tim Schafer is. He's a very unique guy. He has a lot of unique ideas and concepts. And, like, I mean, while I have no idea when we're going to see their next game, obviously they're a smaller team, and, I mean, they're just coming off of this title. I'm excited what they have in store. Tim's writing I really enjoy, and they always come up with unique concepts. I remember a few months ago showing somebody, what was it, the nesting doll game that they had out a couple of years ago. What was it? Stacking. You know, completely unique idea where it's like you go into these different nesting dolls. Like they're all like different characters, and then each nesting doll has a certain ability to use in a certain level, and they just, I don't know, they all have different attributes, and I just found that so interesting. And how they think outside the box, about how Tim thinks outside the box, and it's just, I don't know. I just think they have such unique ideas, and while they may not generate a lot of mainstream attention, I think there's a lot of room to grow, and I think the ideas are there, and with the financial backing of Xbox, I mean, who knows? Who knows what I'm really curious to see what his next big game is. I kind of wish they do another Brutal Legend. I'm kind of biased that way, but again, I have a feeling it's going to be a new IP, but time will tell on that one. But yeah, guys, I'm pretty excited to play through Psychonauts 2. I'm glad to see it doing well, and I'll be playing through it the next couple of days whenever I get some free time. So I'm just gonna be blasting through it. Let's see here. Oh, we got, just taking a look at the chat here. Diego, buddy, Dinero Primero, thank you very much for joining us, buddy. It's been a while since I've seen you here. Great to see you as always. As well, we got Dea here, Dia. I know Cotton was here, and Cotton's a pretty cool fella. Noof Nukem, always a pretty colorful fella. Psychonauts, ATL 9 Lives, Mike from NLG Gaming, thank you very much, buddy. HTK, Lady Foxfire, and so many more. We really appreciate you all joining us tonight. And hey guys, if you are enjoying the commentary, our little chat here about all things Xbox, hey, definitely give it a like, thumbs up, and share it out on Twitter and all the social media. It's greatly appreciated. Now on that note, guys, on to some other bits of news, some PlayStation news actually. And a few days ago, PlayStation announced a slew of different editions that you can get for their title Horizon Forbidden West. And in my opinion, the game looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. And the collector's edition actually looks really good. The Regala version with the that sweet statue. I know a lot of people have been looking at that one. I think it's pretty dope. But with that said, guys, there was some controversy, a lot of talking points here. And originally, in order to get the cross-gen upgrade from the PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, you would have needed to buy either the deluxe edition or the various different collector's edition. And let's just say that it was met with a lot of backlash. A lot of people didn't like that. And since then, actually, Sony's updated the situation, and they made a big U-turn, I guess you could say. And now they'll offer the version of Horizon Forbidden West with a free upgrade, all of the versions. So that's pretty cool. I'm kind of curious about what everybody's thoughts on this are, because again, Sony did a pretty quick turnaround here. Shockley, buddy, that was a pretty fast, huh? Like, what do you think about all this, about Sony kind of making a 180 here?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, I was all the way back to last summer. I've gotten to so many back and forth on Twitter about smart delivery, people saying like, oh, just cross-buy, Sony will do the same thing. And now we're seeing, what has come of it. But it's just funny, because I've been thinking about it, like before this got announced. I was like, well, I was just wondering like what the pricing was going to be, because you had Miles Morales. They were smart in a way of like, hey, we'll just make it the same price for you buy the PS4 digital copy, you buy the PS5 digital copy. Either one you buy, it's the same price. So they're not getting into this weird, because now they're into this scenario which I didn't think they were going to put themselves in, where they're going to sell the PS5 version digitally for $70. But if you're smart, you just buy the PS4 digital version and just take the free upgrade. So it's just weird how this came about. But I think the main thing that they didn't even need to go that far. They could have just done what they decided to do for GT Sport, or not GT Sport, but GT7 and God of War, where they're just going to do $6 version for PS4 and do a $10 upgrade. They could have just done that with Horizon. The main issue with Horizon was if you bought the PS4 version, because right now you can't get a PS5, you either buy the $60 version and then have to double dip a whole, another $60, or maybe if it's discounted by then, buy that whole version again.
Mm-hmm.
Or you just pony up the dough and pay the $80 now, and just in case you do get a PS5, well, then you didn't have to spend a whole nother $60. It was just a ridiculous. All they had to do is a simple like $10 upgrade or $20 something. Like, it's just such a ridiculous process. And I imagine the save issue is going to be just as ridiculous. That's the other thing with smart delivery people don't understand. It's not just cross-buy. It makes it seamless. Like when I had to do the remastered Spider-Man, I had to download. I had the PS5 version on my PS5, and then I had to download the PS4 version of just the regular Spider-Man to transfer the save over. I had to keep both games on there until I got the save over. It was just a tedious process that wasn't seamless, and a lot of people didn't understand it quite, because I thought I did it, but because I uploaded the save to the cloud. So I thought, oh, I'll just download the remastered version and I can just download my save from the cloud of the PS4 game. No, you actually had to download both games, download the save from the cloud for the PS4 version, then basically manually transfer it over to the other game. It was just a ridiculous process. Like, I don't understand why there was no forethought. Like, their UI's the next gen UI, but it can't. They didn't think of any of these software things that are more, make it feel more next gen. But at least they came around to it rather quickly. And to all those people that said, oh, we took Jim Ryan's words out of context. Obviously we didn't, because they even said it themselves. They made the commitment to have that game. They named it specifically that's what they meant when they said that. So, but at least they came around. But they didn't. Some Sony fans did point out that they mentioned that other titles that might be cross-gen. So I wonder if there's any other, whatever that their showcase here. I wonder if there's going to be, like, we haven't even seen a glimpse of God of War, and it's coming to it's a cross-gen game. So
anything moving forward,
yet
anything moving forward, there's nothing to interrupt, but they did comment on that. Anything moving forward after this is going to apply the $10 upgrade charge.
Yeah. Which I wonder what those games are that they haven't even announced yet that are going to be cross-gen and not PS5. Because from now on, outside of Halo's like the last game that we possibly know of that's a cross-gen Xbox game. All of the other ones have only been announced for series consoles or PC. So that's weird how that flipped. But
yeah, well, remember, Shock, Xbox was getting heat like a year and a half ago or whatever, 2 years ago, because they had stated that, again, they were going to be supporting the older games, but again, like with smart delivery and whatnot, it's not such a big deal. But like slowly, again, it was trickled out from PlayStation, from Sony's side, that, they were doing this, and it's like, oh, well. But
people say that about Jim Ryan's comments of like, well, they didn't say all games. Well, first off, there was no reason, the timing of when he said it, there was no reason for him to even say it, because that's what they've done with every PlayStation game. They've always had little games where they didn't just drop support. So there was no reason to say it. And he said it twice. He said it in the showcase and he said it in an interview. We all know what he meant. And when they had the PS5 reveal, IGN, the biggest gaming site, and all the other gaming sites for 3 months ran with PS5 only games. Miles Morales, they literally have the list. Go on their website, they're still there. Miles Morales and Horizon Forbidden West, PS5 only titles for 3 months until September came around, and that's when they broke the news to everybody. Everybody's like, wait, for 3 months you didn't correct anybody. What the hell? So that's why people were caught off guard. And then that's when they tried to say, well, we'll give you the upgrade for free. But then they didn't even commit to that until this backlash. So it's just funny how this all played out. Blew up in their face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Centurion, do you have any thoughts on this matter? Like with the whole, kind of like this conundrum with the PS5 upgrades. It's like, for a couple of days, PlayStation was sticking to it, and then, all of a sudden they do a turnaround. Like, did they just kind of clue in that it's like, this doesn't look too good?
Well, I kind of chuckled when I first saw all the announcements, and I was like, oh, look, no upgrade path or a real established upgrade path once again. I was surprised at the fact that Sony was probably not going to do anything about this, because no offense to anybody, there was not really too big of a backlash. Like, I'm just going to be upfront. When Microsoft tried to raise the price of Xbox Live, the whole world lost their damn mind.
Yeah.
So with PlayStation, they could come out and blatantly lie. Jim Ryan lied. He could claim it was an accident now, but at the point he lied. And so now all of a sudden they probably would have left it as is until some of the bigger media publications started pointing out that Jim Ryan did basically say that they should have gotten this. We're also seeing that it's almost like it's like greatness awaits to the ones who pay. So it's definitely a total different mindset when it comes to what they want to do with the product that they put out and how they want to deliver the product to the consumer. Microsoft has been trying to find more ways of giving the consumer more bang for their buck, where Sony is definitely trying a different direction. This completely does not shock me. I don't really know how to feel about that. I want to play this game. I'm going to get it on PS5. I'm going to enjoy it, but also at the same time, I am going to be shaking my head and also grateful for the fact that I only use my PS5 for exclusives, because it's starting to appear that pretty much PlayStation is going to become the Cadillac of gaming. I mean, you're going to pay an exorbitant amount for leather seats and heated steering wheels and all this other great stuff that really doesn't add too much fluff to the fact that it is what it is. So therefore, I'm glad that I've established myself on the Xbox ecosystem, because it does seem like it's going to get rather expensive to game extremely heavily on the PlayStation side, at least for right now.
You made a good comment about Cadillac of gaming, because before this happened, or before they corrected it, if you wanted the physical version and upgrade, then you had to buy that like one with the giant statue. That was like super expensive to get both versions.
Well, there's a couple
version.
Yeah, there's like a couple of different collector's editions, but like they're both, I believe, like a couple of $100. They just vary, like, 50 or $100 between the two. But yeah, basically that it was like that. And what was it? A lot of people were talking about the photo mode as well that was locked behind the special editions as well.
See, it's kind of funny, in my industry, we had a company just recently do this. The use of robotics is not very used heavily in my industry, and I have one of my manufacturers who just recently, a few months ago, about a year ago, switched everything to robotics. They raised their price across the board almost 35% on all of their products, purely because they came out and said that, well, there's a massive quality difference between having a human being assemble it and a robot assemble it. And they basically pulled a power move of, this is just the way we feel about quality now, when there was no rhyme or reason to raising the price in the first place. And I really do feel that PlayStation's doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Knox, like, what's your take on this? Because, I think of the guys here on the panel make a good point. That's like Xbox guys, whenever they see something they don't like, they're very vocal about it, for better or for worse. And it was just kind of quiet on like the PlayStation side of things. I mean, after a little while, they started knocking on Sony's door, and then Sony thankfully changed their tune. But like, what do you think about all this?
Oh man, how long you got? Because this is this is one of those topics that sometimes brings my blood pressure up a little bit. I to this day, first of all, let me say something. Whatever you do with your hard work earned money, that's on you. Okay, you want to spend $250 on addition on a gaming. You want to go out of town, do what it's your right. You could do whatever you want. So this is just literally my opinion, right? I have a very consumer minded kind of mind first, right? I'm always thinking about the consumer regardless of my financial means, right? So it's funny you should say about the photo mode unlocks, because I had a tweet out and I posted the different versions that they were showing at the time. And I said, are they really locking photo mode behind a paywall? WTF. And like the tweet got a little bit of traction, not too much, but and then somebody pointed out to me on the thread. They were like, hey, no, this just means photo mode is unlocked, but this just means if you want to use special stickers in different poses within photo mode, that's what's unlocked.
Yeah. And
I just wrote LOL below that, because are we really justifying poses and stickers on a photo mode? Like, what are we talking? What are we doing here? What are we talking about?
Wait a minute. There's stickers? Where's my damn wallet? Where's my wallet?
Exactly. Like I said, people do what you want with your money. Okay. That's not what I'm here to, like, I'm not here to judge anyone. But what I'm asking is, tell me one next gen game that's worth $70. I haven't seen one. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what is this $10 upgrade? Is it just because it's what's always has been? It's, what we're going to continue to do. You can't say it's because you guys are not making money, because your financial charts tell you something completely different. You know what I mean? So I don't understand where this $10 difference comes from. Now, there's a community that has learned this, and that's the PC community. They understand that they are the consumers first, and these companies literally depend on them for them to be successful. And it seems here that a lot of us are stuck in this mindset that, no, I gotta go hard for the company that I want to be part of, and I can't understand that. And for them to, first of all, they are very tactical with this announcement, right? In my personal opinion, said, let's put this out. Let's see how everyone's going to react, right? And then we have a showcase next week, which we're going to knock it out of the park. I think Sony's going to bring their A game next week. That's for sure. But also with that, depending on the announcement, we're going to give them an update on Horizon Zero Dawn. We're going to put it at 60 frames for them. Not a problem. So they're going to throw something in your face first, and then come with roses and, here's something for you to wipe so you forget about what I just did. And the only reason why, and the only thing that happened here was that they solidified that from here on out, everything that they put out that is a cross-gen title is going to get the $10 upgrade. They will never mention anything about being a free upgrade again, because they just want that extra $10. And I don't understand why that is. Is that $10 really worth the ramifications that could happen with the marketing and everything else that goes on the mind share of all these consumers? Because you have Microsoft doing the exact opposite. So how many times are you going to get to have, you're going to get slapped in the face here and there before you look elsewhere, and then you potentially see that there's, a better ecosystem or something, or an ecosystem that's offering you something better for your money. I just don't understand that. Now, Sony can kind of get away with this because they have consistently put out quality products, right? Like you can't deny, Horizon Zero Dawn to a lot of people, amazing game, God of War, The Last of Us. Like you see the quality just, fuses out of their games. So they have the equity that they kind of play with, but they have to be very careful, but of how much they're letting, like they're how much equity they have, so they don't run out with the fan base and the mind share. Because whether you like it or not, for every person that doesn't care about this announcement, there are a couple or a few of them that they are say, hey, what they did here, they literally just lied to our face. Now every corporation, sure, they'll twist words, they'll lie to you here and there and come back on their word, but you can see that they literally, this to me almost calculated. Let's throw this out there. We know we said we're going to give it to it was going to be a free upgrade last year. We mentioned that. Let's throw this out there, see what happens. And if it goes one way, okay, what we're going to do is we're just going to tell them we're gonna have a showcase from them next week, and we're gonna give them another update for Horizon Zero Dawn so they can play at 60 frames. So
we all know that 60 frame patch was done months ago. Come on,
1,000%. But that's the thing that kills me, right? Like this here, and then you hear the banter back and forth between PlayStation fans and Xbox fans and things like that, and like there are clearly individuals who do this just for obviously for likes and things like that, but there are also extremely intellectual individuals out there that keep like justifying something like this, and you look at it as a consumer and you're like, what are we talking about here? And one thing that you mentioned, Evaded, like you said, you're from Canada, like this $10 price hike, a lot of people like to throw that word like, oh, it's just $10. It's just $10 here. But the US dollar is actually, unfortunately changing the price here $10, and this is going to be like the main coin that they're using to, use the currency for everywhere else. That's like a 30, 35, even sometimes even 50% price increase everywhere else. You know what I mean? I'm from Brazil originally, so I have a lot of friends down there, so I know how much it costs to play games down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a price, like a change of price like that, it's like a $50 price change, obviously in Brazilian currency down there, and it's different for a lot of people. So it's near and dear to my heart. I'm still waiting for a game to show me, hey, what makes this different? What makes this $10 price increase worth it? And I haven't seen one. I refuse to pay that $10. I'll wait for it. I'll buy it on sale. Obviously with I didn't get a PS5 yet. I still have my PS4, so I'm good. I mean, it just sucks to see that. And you look at the digital deluxe edition, everything is like, you literally get nothing. Everything you're getting is digital nowadays, and it might be fine for some people, but you don't have anything physically for you to literally have for something for you to look at. You have to consistently, and most of the stuff that comes out, digital soundtrack, comic book, things like that, you're going to be able to find it online anyway. So I don't know. People will do exactly what they want with their money, but I don't see it, man. I don't know. I think that, they try to pull a fast one, got caught, gave them a couple of roses to make it up, and everybody seems to be happy with it now. So.
Yeah, it's just, again, like kind of what Centurion and Shockley were pointing out, though. It's one of those things where, all of the different like media outlets, they pretend to not be partisan, but I have to say at the same time, it's like, well, at times it looks pretty obvious, like who they root for. And if this was something that Xbox was doing, you would be hearing it 10 times more.
I can add on to that. When Xbox did the price hike on Xbox Live, it pretty much in certain crowds was an attack on the lower class, people who didn't have money. How dare you raise the price on Xbox Live in the time of a pandemic? I remember those arguments, but it's completely okay for us to tell you you're getting something and then a shell game, charge you more over here, charge you a couple bucks over there, twist some words over here, but it's completely not as big of a deal. Just saying.
That Xbox Live price hike too it was insane. Like whoever okayed that, I was just like, whoa.
Well,
like,
yeah,
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand the value that they were trying to give you. You know, hey, look at Game Pass Ultimate. Look at how much value you're getting compared to Live, but pushing people one direction. But I was just like, wow, that was a little too much.
Yeah. And there's a few things to add to this too, because I really don't think that like PlayStation's still ready to move on from last generation. Like kind of like what Fastback is saying in the chat here. Sony's capitalizing on the PS4 success.
1000%, yeah.
Yeah, because you look at Microsoft, they're obviously ready to move on from the Xbox One, but they're doing a lot of good due diligence and being smart with the fan base, and with the smart delivery system. It's a very easy setup, a very easy process, and there's a lot of benefits to the consumer. Whereas Sony, they have at least 110 million consoles from the PlayStation 4. You want to continue to to get something out of that, and then with all the shortages going on with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles, I sort of see it from a business perspective. It makes total sense on their end, but for us, it's like no, we're not playing ball with that. No.
Yeah, and Veda, to what you just mentioned, last year when they announced Miles Morales, I can't remember if it was May or April, and they announced it as a PS5 only game. Remember, there was a whole controversy on Twitter and things like that. I don't know if I was talking to somebody or I tweeted it myself. I said, there is absolutely no way Sony is going to leave out 110 plus million consoles of potential sales that they have there, on just the beginning of a generation. That would be insane, and just like everything else, like they tell you one thing, then they see what the reaction is going to get, and then they're, oh no, we're going to put this on PS4 as well. So, it's just, their business strategy for right now. I just think that they have so much equity that they don't think they can lose it with their fans. And, the sad thing is, when they show this next showcase, if they knock it out of the park, which I'm assuming they will, absolutely will, like, nobody's going to remember this either. It's just going to be they're just going to be like, hey, it's fine.
Well, the truth is, Knox, is that they have to show something, because they've been silent while Xbox and even Nintendo has shown some stuff, and they've been, they've had to push back a few titles, and there's been a few delays at their end, and you can tell that things aren't going exactly smoothly. But that's that's the effect of the whole industry right now, because of again, the global circumstances going on. I think people are understanding there, but it's a little bit of slim pickings at their end now, and people are kind of curious what they have in the pipeline besides Horizon Forbidden West. I mean, it's great that they have a release date, but it's like, okay, where's God of War? What's happening with Abandoned and a whole bunch of other titles? So
yeah,
just very curious, very, very curious. But I'm glad that they did this reversal. It's good for everybody, and competition is a good thing, guys. It's really good. I'm glad to see that they learned. So, good on PlayStation for that one. But you know what, guys? I think before I move on, does anybody have anything else to add to this? No? Okay. All right. On that note, I think I'll call it a night. And you know what, guys? I gotta say, it's a very, very fun chat tonight overall. Lots of comments regarding like Gamescom. We definitely put our thoughts into that. Psychonauts 2, we had a lot to say on that one. And, about this whole Horizon Forbidden West, PlayStation 4 to 5 upgrade cross-gen nonsense situation. I'm glad everything got cleared up there by Sony. Really just a great time overall, and I certainly hope all of you listening in enjoyed everything as well. And I gotta say, a massive shout out to all the wonderful people that joined in tonight. Really, really, really appreciate it, fellas. If you did enjoy the show tonight, then again, consider dropping a like, subbing to the channel, and sharing this out across your favorite social media networks. It is greatly appreciated on our behalf. Cybernox, bud, it was a blast getting you on tonight, and just hearing all your different commentary. And again, I know we were working behind the scenes trying to get you on for a while now, and it was well worth it. Where can all of our listeners follow you at, bud?
I appreciate that. I had a great time, guys. Hopefully I didn't talk too much. Sometimes I get a little bit too passionate and, I just keep on talking and talking and talking. So had a great time. Centurion, Tim, Shockley, obviously you, Invader. I appreciate the invite. I was glad that I could make it today. Yeah, guys, just on Twitter, everywhere, Cybernox. Pretty simple. I'm working on a Xbox-centric channel. Keep eye on the lookout for that. And yeah, that's it. I had a blast being here. Again, I appreciate the invite. And, guys, just stay safe out there, and keep on gaming.
Mm-hmm. Well said, brother. We really appreciate that, Nox. We'll definitely hit you up sometime soon. Let's see here. On to the TXR regulars and Eric Shockley, buddy. Hey, you had lots of stuff to say tonight, and very, very well said on that account on all the different topics. Where can everybody follow you at, bud?
Yeah, as always, you can find me at ShockNero on Twitter, Easy Shock on Xbox Live. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Definitely some awesome points, some banter. I finally got moved in, so that's a plus, and they didn't break my old CRT TV because I was like, just out of everything, if you break that, I can't replace it. Mm-hmm. But about to get that all set up, and I'm just glad to be in a house where I'm not going to be thinking about moving, being in more of a permanent gaming spot. So, but catch you guys later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, glad to hear you're all set up there, Shockley. I know you've been moving stuff all around, getting all set up, so glad to hear that you're all settled in. But yeah, moving on. Tim, buddy, good stuff tonight, as always, the passionate Xbox aficionado that you are. Where can everybody find you at, bud?
XcloudTimdog on Xbox and Twitter. Great show, Cybernox, great guests, a lot of chemistry, very good. Interesting Appreciate to hear. Yeah, no problem. Interesting to hear your points, and a lot of good stuff we talked about. And see you next week. Have a nice Labor Day weekend, and see you next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right, Tim. To the point and well said. And Centurion, buddy, hey, why don't you tell everybody where everyone can find your next video and what you're working on next.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. It was an amazing show tonight. Definitely enjoyed chatting with everybody, especially with you, Mr. Cybernox. It was good to have a great conversation with you. For those of you interested in finding my content and the crazy things I do, like my current fanboy video, you'll be able to find me at Centurion1307 on YouTube. You can also find me there at Centurion1307 on Twitter and Xbox Live. You can also find me wow, I'm all over the place. You can also find me right here every Sunday night on the TXR Podcast with these amazing gentlemen. You can also find me every Saturday night with the awesome guys over on the Shop Podcast. And yes, as Invader mentioned, I'm constantly trying to put out content as often as I can around my crazy work schedule. Always trying to do something to make people laugh. I hope people don't really take the jokes I do there too seriously. It is all meant as good fun in the end, and really just something to make you laugh and just enjoy gaming again. That's really what it is. So hopefully see you there.
Well, if anybody took those videos seriously, the ones that I'm thinking about, they need to find their funny bone. So
I just don't want, because I've had, desensitized, because I've had a couple people be like, no one asked Halo to remove the co-op. And it's like, I know nobody asked Halo to remove the co-op, but it's just having fun with the situation because it's, what can we do to change it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. It's just poking fun, like you said. So, again, it's check out his videos, his fanboy videos, guys. Centurion is quite the comedian. But let's see here. And to round things out, guys, to round out the crew, this is Invader, and you guys can find my content over on YouTube at Invader Gaming. I'm also on a wide variety of alternative media sites, such as BitChute and Minds. You can definitely, just under the same name, Invader Gaming. Again, really fun show tonight, fellas, and we are already looking forward to next week's offerings. Looks like we got a couple of shows to cover already. So I'm already looking forward to the news. Later, guys.